Hi, I'm Rod Jaeger. I'm the president of the DC Jaeger Corporation, and today we're going to talk about CNC and the demand in the job market and why we should teach that in schools and colleges in the state of Florida.
Hi, my name is Michelle Leon. I am the operations manager here at Levil Technology, and today I have the pleasure of sitting down with Rod Jaeger from DC Jaeger Corporation. Thank you for joining me
Absolutely,
today.
glad to be here.
Awesome. So Rod is one of our distributors, and I'm going to have him tell you a little bit about his company and what it is that they do. So Rod, what is DC Jaeger and what do you do?
Good question. What we do is we basically represent companies that develop technical training equipment and curriculum and then resell that to schools and colleges in the state of Florida. Primarily, our company sells the products that are in demand in terms of job placement and the hands-on skills needed by different industries. So the products that we sell to schools and colleges in Florida range from all the areas of advanced manufacturing to supply chain, logistics, different things like that, and just about everything in between. We also do a lot with the skilled trades. We sell things for basic electricity, industrial electricity, CNC, of course, Levil. We're heavy also in robotics. So it's this whole thing of everything from the regrowing of the skilled trades and demand for the skilled trades for employees, and also combined with the automation situation where everything is moving to Industry 4.0 and you have machines communicating with one another in the manufacturing process and the supply chain process. So those are very high in-demand skills. So the companies that we represent cross that whole spectrum of teaching automation skills. And these are skills that can be taught to any type of individual that has propensity for that type of work, including females that, we talked previously about corrections, different things like that. So it's teaching that programming facet. And it's, the manufacturing has changed over the past couple of years, and these jobs are very, very high demand as well as the skilled trades. We also sell very big into air conditioning, HVAC training. There's a lot of demand in those areas as well. So
I think something important to mention as well is you guys are the exclusive FANUC distributor in education for the state of Florida, correct?
That is correct.
So if a school wants to teach a FANUC control or use FANUC robots and teach those skills, they would have to go to you for that.
That is correct, yes.
Which is great, because why is FANUC important? When we're talking about names, why would that make a difference to a school?
Oh, absolutely, good question. FANUC, in terms of a company, has about 70% of the world market in automated controls, which includes not only the CNC control, but also the robotics part in terms of automation. So because of that, we have a lot of these machines that are out in industry, so we have to train students and individuals to be able to know how to control and work that FANUC control on a CNC machine. And if they have that skill and possibly be certified in that, then it gives them the ability to have a leg up in terms of an interview process or be placed in a job position.
So what kind of services do you provide? Is this a turnkey solution? Is it just equipment? What can you provide these schools?
Good question. Primarily what we do is we have the relationship-based model in terms of sales and customer support. So because we have a finite territory, we constantly have to provide high levels of service to our existing customer base. So what we do is, as you indicated, turnkey. We make a sale, establish a relationship with that customer, and then go in, constantly care and feed those customers, because our customers that are teaching CT programs have a very difficult job and a demanding job, because what they're doing is very much hands-on. So dealing with students in a hands-on manner with primarily using different types of technical training equipment is a pretty tough task for them to do. So we try to do the best job we can to provide them all that support and end user support.
What about the support once so let's say you've sold them this turnkey solution, 6 months down the road they're having issues. What kind of post support do you offer these schools if they need any assistance?
Good question. Primarily what we do, we always do a on-site training and familiarization after we deliver and install the training equipment. And then after the fact, our service technician usually will email that customer a number of months down the road, see how they're doing. Sometimes if he's in the area, he'll stop in and interface with the customer and see if they have any questions. But basically it's easy for them to get a hold of us, and we readily make ourselves available to them.
So this is definitely not a one and done deal. You guys are there for the long haul.
Never. We're a long haul. We've been in business almost 63 years. So that's been a model that's kept us in business for that period of time.
Can you tell us a little bit, how did DC Jaeger start? Can you give a little history on the company?
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting history. The company was founded back in 1957 by my father, Don Jaeger, who was still alive, praise the Lord. And he founded the company in Cocoa Beach. He actually started, when he left the Air Force, started a company that basically was selling products in the dawn of the space age over in Cocoa Beach. So he quickly, once the big companies like the Martins and the Boeings kind of got involved with it, he realized that the bigger fish were there to play. So he had a friend that mentioned to him about the area of technical training. So he quickly investigated that and morphed the business from the space industry over to vocational education, and then moved to Orlando area. And we've been there ever since.
That's cool. So you grew up in this industry then?
Pretty much I did, yes.
That's incredible.
Yeah, true family operation. Yeah, just like Levil.
Yeah, that's something that we love. One of the reasons we love working with you guys. How big is the Jaeger team?
We are 4 people that work really, really hard.
Yes.
And very customer centric. So we're able to do a lot with the people that we have. We are blessed with having people that are really dedicated to what they do and really throw themselves at their jobs just because they love what they do. So Mark's been with us well over 20 years. Steve's been with us almost 15. My wife Gina has been with us over 15 years working in the company. I've been doing the same thing here. You know, I've been in this market for going on 35 years. So we you know, there's always something new for us to learn in terms of customer relationship and customer support, but we try to rely and focus on our strengths, which is that customer support and that relationship with our customer base.
So if there's one thing you want, you know, somebody watching this video out there that is looking for an education solution to know about your company, what would that be?
Primarily it would be in terms of, you know, who we are and how we do things, and it's really focused on them and the value of the products that we sell. Like Levil CNC machines is a high quality CNC machine, and basically it lasts forever. Students learn different skills in using that machine, and it's a major investment because we're turning out people and students out of these programs that basically earn a very, very high starting wage in very high demand occupations.
That's great. And now somebody watching this video again, if they want to get in touch with you guys, what's the best way to do that?
Usually the best way is off our website, DC Jaeger Corporation.com is our website, and there's contact us information there. We also have toll-free numbers off there, so we're available via email, website, phone, etc.
Perfect. Now, Rod, I have a couple last questions to ask you. We put a post out online and we asked the public, what do they want to know about CNC, and you know, what do they want to know about Levil? And you, as one of our distributors, do you mind if I ask you 2 of their questions?
Absolutely.
That's great.
Yeah.
So the first one, really basic. Who uses CNC machines?
A lot of people, more than people really would realize.
Yeah.
In advanced manufacturing, and especially Florida is becoming one of the more prominent states in manufacturing. I think Forbes magazine did an article a couple years ago that mentioned Florida has the number 1, I think it's number 1, 3, and 4 fastest growing manufacturing regions in the United States.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, and about 80% of the manufacturers in the state of Florida are firms of 20 people or less. All right, so if you think about that and think about where CNC fits into that, these smaller companies, these 80% of these companies are running CNC manufacturing operations. And these are companies that don't have a big sign out front of the building. They're located in industrial parks, just like the one you're located in.
Yeah.
And but they you know, there's so much demand for U.S. manufacturing because of the reshoring process that a lot of the manufacturing is done in these smaller organizations. And that's where the demand is. Because these companies are, you know, having to, you know, steal employees from one or another, and they don't really have the time to go out and talk to their local college or school, and they're desperate for CNC technicians. Yeah. But that's where the market is right now in the state of Florida.
That's wonderful. And then, so that's one thing on who uses them, but now why should schools teach CNC? Why is it so important?
Primarily just a learning process in terms of CNC, because it is basically an extension of coordinate geometry. So there's so much academics that could be brought to life on the CNC machine, because so many students are kinesthetic hands-on learners. So it brings all that to life, and also in terms of just teaching pure automation, learning how to program on a CNC control, making parts, different things like that. So just from a cognitive learning experience and being able to learn how to do something hands-on and actually produce something is really big in terms of where students may have an interest in school. From the outside perspective, the demand in the job market is so huge for these type of students and also college isn't for everyone, and that's being proven again and again with greater regularity these days. But these students have the ability to graduate high school with some sort of certificate or credential, or go on to post-secondary education and further their education in CNC or advanced manufacturing and get a really high-paying job as an exit point.
Yeah.
So that's where I see the demand for the market.
We're mentioning schools, and I also kind of wanted to mention a project that you recently worked on with, which I believe was in a correctional facility, correct? Providing
Absolutely.
a training environment. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, that was a pretty cool project.
I think so, yeah.
I actually got in and I was able to talk with some of the inmates there. It was a juvenile justice facility, and we worked with the CT director and the director of adult education in that particular county. And they wanted to have the ability to teach a high demand skill within the confines of the juvenile justice corrections facility. So they purchased a Levil lathe and a Levil mill, both with finite control, because they wanted to teach a relevant job skill to basically help these individuals find a better life and get a job upon release from the detention facility. So because the machines work off 110 power and are on carts with casters, they actually can move the machines into a training room from storage, move them into the training room with the tools and everything else, plug them in, and then teach a CNC course to the inmates. And they have a rotation of different groups of individuals that rotate, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday type of rotation, and actually run them through this training process with the CNC machines.
That's incredible. So they have this opportunity, once they're done, with their time to leave there with a skill, they can go into the job force, they can get a good job. This is not a job, a starting wage job. This is a good skilled job.
Yeah, this is $20 to $25 an hour start.
That's incredible. And I'm sure for them, that's an opportunity that...
Absolutely. And because the demand is so high, and also in the manufacturing sector, with a person coming out of correctional and going back into modern society, they could work in that situation. Because they don't, a lot of times the background check and all that, there's so much demand, and for somebody that really has that skill set, a employer is really going to work with that individual.
Yeah. That's an incredible thing you guys did there. I hope we can replicate that in other situations.
Yeah, that was a very rewarding project. Yeah.
And make some big changes in other people's lives, it sounds like.
Absolutely.
Well, Rod, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me.
Oh, absolutely.
It was such a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for your time.